Their only job is to tell the truth. And yet tonight, the news media are celebrating the capture of the kid who told Americans what's actually happening in Ukraine. They are treating him like Osama bin Laden, maybe a little worse, actually, because unlike Al-Qaeda, apparently this kid is a racist.
Okay, so that is Tucker Carlson talking about the 21-year-old Jack Teixeira, IT specialist with the Air National Guard, who leaked all these documents having to do with the war effort in Ukraine on Discord. He has since been arrested, and during his arrest, he was, as was pointed out by Tucker Carlson, treated worse than Osama bin Laden, who was shot so many times. His brains and blood and organs were splattered all over his compound as he was shot and then disposed of. And it was worse for Jack Teixeira, who was arrested and brought in. I'm gonna be completely honest, Brett, before we start talking about this, I don't know why, because I care a lot about what's going on in Ukraine. I don't care about this leak at all. It probably reflects poorly on me. I'm sure it's really important. I don't care, like when Eric Swalwell or whatever is like, this guy's a traitor. I don't like throw, like, yeah, he leaked the stuff or whatever. I feel like everybody has a totally contingent view on leaking. Tucker Carlson has attacked leakers before. He attacked Edward Snowden before. We're gonna get to Marjorie Greene. They were freaking out that maybe Alvin Bragg leaked a detail about Trump's arraignment 60 minutes before it was public news. They were losing, he should go to jail. And now every right winger believes this guy's the biggest hero ever. I don't have a dog in the fight. I really don't care at all. But the idea that he was treated worse than a guy who was riddled with bullets seems like a bridge too far, a bin Laden too far for me. What do you think?
It's really, for most people interacting with the news, they want to take the news, understand something about it that they can then insert into their prevailing worldview cleanly, easily. That's what Tucker Carlson's doing. He's saying, yes, there is a leaker. And rather than saying, is it a whistleblower? Did they do it on purpose? Are they revealing things we should know about or not know about? And then going from there and finding out if this was in the public's best interests, he doesn't want to do that. So he's gonna say this plus Osama bin Laden, and then hope Marjorie Taylor Greene inserts like, what was his religion, race, and color? And then they'll go and just allow people to go on living the way that they were living, knowing that the news makes sense in the way that they view it.
Exactly. Well, look, Marge did do that, tweeting Jake Teixeira. His name's Jack. Does she even care? I don't know. Jake Teixeira is white, male, Christian, and anti-war. That makes him an enemy to the Biden regime. And he told the truth about troops being on the ground in Ukraine and a lot more. Okay, and then she goes on blah, blah, blah. By the way, Tucker Carlson said that his revelation, there were, I think, 14 American troops on the ground conducting training. They're not fighting Russians. He says it means that we're in a hot war with Russia. No, it doesn't. That's not what it actually means. And you know what I love? I love when the right has an opportunity to play cosplay on an issue, being able to pretend that they have a position they don't. She's like, he's anti-war, and so am I. And it's so hard for us when we're anti-war because we want to pull out of Ukraine. I also want to invade Mexico, but let's forget about that for now. I'm anti-war. I want to invade our southern neighbor, but I'm anti-war. So look, that's why Tucker Carlson is defending the guy too. He thinks, I don't even know exactly why this is the interpretation, but the idea is that the leaked documents make the war effort in Ukraine look bad. I guess, I don't know. I really don't care. I can't stress that enough. And thus, him leaking it is good for people who want our support for Ukraine to end, and Tucker wants the support to end. So in this case, he can support the leaks. I guess, like all of that seems like such big leaps of logic. Look, I personally think that there are a lot of cases in American history where the only reason we got an accurate idea of what's going on is thanks to the often courageous efforts of whistleblowers. Is this an example of it? Maybe. I think it's a little bit too early to say since we don't know his motivation. And it's not like he released it to The Intercept or something. He just posted it on a Discord, and I guess it got out from there. So it just seems like a really muddled thing that they are trying, as Brett pointed out, to create a pure version of the story for conservative consumption.
Yeah, I love the Marjorie Taylor Greene tweet that's like, I'm a champion for Jack Teixeira,
whoever.
Like, it reminds me one time, yeah. It's like if she gets your name wrong, she doesn't care about you. She just doesn't. She's using you as a political pawn, and then she's saying Jack Teixeira is a white male Christian and anti-war. Like, so are you backing Chelsea Manning? Like, is it if Chelsea Manning was like cis, would that make her like more on the level for you? No, she is racially profiling. She is profiling these people, and she's picking heroes to have. Listen, a lot of people are anti-war, and yeah. she isn't even taking a moment to really understand the full scope of all this stuff. And this was an accidental leak anyway. Homeboy was just trying to say something on a Discord to win a fight,
to get credit or whatever, maybe. Yeah, like, is she asserting that if it was a black woman who'd leaked it on Discord, that Biden would be like, oh, well, that's cool, then we're not gonna lock you up? Just doesn't make any sense. As you point out, if she gets the name wrong, she doesn't care about you. If she gets spelling and grammar wrong, she's trying her best.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.